Hey beautifuls! Welcome back to the Privilege Society. If you're new here, hi, I am the Privilege Society, and on my channel we discuss all things pretty privilege and how aesthetics can truly enhance the quality of your life. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, please subscribe. I would love to have you as a part of this community. So today I wanted to talk about how loneliness is a huge price that a lot of women, a lot of beautiful women, usually end up paying in exchange for their beauty. Not all beautiful women are lonely, obviously, but in my case, I think I can definitely attest to that being kind of true. I want to go through some reasons why I feel like this is true and give some personal insight on my own experiences around this topic. So, the first reason why I feel like being beautiful can be isolating is because you become the target of other people who understand the concept that beauty is social currency. I believe I heard that first from either Exoticals United here on YouTube or my mother, Carmelita Fox. Maybe both. Maybe they both said that, but either way, that's true. Personally, I have been the target of both men and women that want to use my beauty as kind of a means to an end for themselves. Men will use beautiful women for a lot of reasons. They'll use you for your body, obviously. I've had so many experiences with this. It's honestly just unbearable at this point. I'm currently on like a no dating phase, I'm dating myself right now, specifically because of this reason. Honestly, I'm so over it. But yeah, they'll use you for your body. They will tell you just about whatever lie they need to in order to ultimately get in your pants. Like a man will literally tell you you're his soulmate just to get you in bed. It's so pathetic. But anyway, so they'll use you for your body. They'll use you socially. I think a lot of men enjoy getting that ego boost of being known as the guy with the beautiful girlfriend or something like that, you know. And also, he has a built-in date for every event whenever he's dating a beautiful woman. Like, men absolutely love showing off the beautiful women they're with on dates to weddings and business whatever, because it helps them to social climb a bit with both men and women. It makes men envy them that they're with a beautiful woman like you, and it makes women more attracted to them. Like, knowing that this man is dating a beautiful woman like you makes a lot of women crave that validation, you know, oh, I'm as pretty or prettier than her because he also dated me type of situation, approximating themselves to you. But I'm not saying that it's a bad thing if a man wants to show you off, by the way. If you're with a man that doesn't take you out on dates and doesn't show you off, please leave him. That is disgusting. And you deserve way better than that, please. But I do think that a lot of men use beautiful women just to kind of look good and show off like a trophy. And how often does it happen? This insert athlete here. This athlete is dating this absolutely just stunning Instagram model or something. And behind closed doors, a video comes out, he's throwing her against the wall, beating her up in front of her baby, or just insane things like that. Because a lot of men, most men, they don't see beautiful women as people, just objects. With women, I have personally noted that some women kind of only invite me out or bring me to places to kind of get a little more attention on themselves. And I think that because I have a couple of physical features that kind of make me more hyper visible than most people. So these types of girls, if they feel like they can't shine brightly enough, sometimes they'll bring you in almost like an assist in a way. If she shines next to me, I'll get some of the shine. But then they inevitably start to resent you and hate you for getting the attention socially that they themselves crave, even if you don't necessarily like the attention. Which brings me to my next point, which is that a lot of times some beautiful women really struggle to make friends or keep them. And in my case, that is very true. And honestly, I have some pretty intense friendship wounds I probably need to heal. Like, some girls have done just absolutely crazy things to me out of spite or like jealousy, chiefly around like attention and like social centered stuff. I know, is it Manon? I'm sorry if I'm not saying her name properly. Manon from Cat's Eye. That documentary drama that I've seen like going around online. Personally, before I say this, I don't care at all about any of that. I don't consider myself to be like a fan of like artists or like K-pop groups, K-pop adjacent, whatever they got going on over there. Like, I'm not a stan. I'm not part of any like fan group. Like, please don't take this as that. Please don't come over here with that. I am completely neutral on that situation. I don't have like what's that saying? I don't have a something in this fight. Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion on any of it because it's not my business, to be honest. And it's like, it's kind of like cold tea. Like, at this point, who cares? I feel like that was kind of a while ago. They probably made up since then. But my only opinion on that whole drama is that there is actually a really high likelihood that those girls did kind of come together to outcast her. Because she's like, let's be honest, this is like a channel about looks. She is probably the most objectively pretty of the group. You're allowed to disagree with me. We can have our own opinion on it, but like, let's be real. Like, yeah, she's the visual to me. She kind of reminds me of like Tyla with the braids, and like she's like kind of like petite, like skinny build. She's the one that like captured my attention in the group in the first place, and even then, like, not really. Like, I'm not a stan. Please don't start with that fan shit. Please, 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 please. But honestly, that's just human nature. Humans are animals, and if we perceive a threat, we either want to run away from it or eradicate it. Out of all of the members, I don't know who they are, but I see her having the most successful future as a solo artist just going off of looks alone. But like, in Cat's Eye's case, the other members, they can't run. Like, they're not going to give up their dreams, obviously, just because someone is, like, prettier than them, quote unquote. Like, that's crazy. So, yeah, I mean, the only other option is to come together to cast out the threat. It's happened to me, myself. Like, I have definitely been iced out of circles just because people in the circle were threatened. I've also known other girls that this has happened to. Like, I feel like this is honestly a pretty common occurrence and, like, not really anything to be up in arms about. If I were her, I would be extremely flattered to know that I have the girls' jelly. Like, that's a lot of power transfer. Like, I don't think jealous people, I don't think envious people understand that people that know their worth kind of feed off of that type of negative energy. Like, if you know how to transmute negative situations to become beneficial to yourself, maybe I should make a whole video on that. But yeah, honestly, like, it's in everyone's best interest, honestly. If you kind of strive to be so pretty, you can make people jealous, because this is like dark femininity, but like, you should do that because it's like an infinite money glitch for your confidence and like self-esteem. Because when people give off that like jealous energy and you can identify it immediately, it automatically makes you the more powerful person in the situation, even if it doesn't feel like it. Like, they might be being mean to you or whatever, but make no mistake, they're singling you out. They're coming for you because they're threatened by you. And if you have the proper, like, mental walls up, you can literally just deflect and transmute those bad vibes into good ones. Like, you get a little pep in your step after you, like, just got a dirty look from someone, like, you walk past on the street. Like, it's vain, but it'll bring your vibes up a little bit. Like, you got the girls in a tizzy just by existing. Like, so much power. But, yeah, that's how I feel about that again. And again, like, I don't care about any of that. Like, I'm purely using that situation as an example. Please don't start with that over here. I'm not doing it. Don't even try it. Seriously. So another thing that can happen to you when you're very pretty or you have a lot of pretty privilege is kind of like character assassination, character smearing, like sabotage type of stuff. And this type of stuff is very likely to happen to you if you're very beautiful. Specifically, if you're very beautiful and you're very nice. And if you're like on your pretty privilege journey and maybe you haven't experienced this yet, I need you to listen very closely whenever I say this. And I'm so sorry to say this, but it probably will happen to you at some point if it hasn't happened already. And this is just one of the costs of people being threatened by you. I have Jang Won-young as my thumbnail for this video because she's a really good example of this type of thing happening. It seems like every week or every couple of weeks I see a video or some like thread online basically smearing this girl's character. Like, people are calling her like stuck up and a bully and whatever else they can try to say to discredit her character because they can't come for her looks. This has also happened to me, by the way, and it is incredibly traumatizing, especially if you don't know what is happening to you and why people randomly hate you. Like, I'll make a whole video on that, but that is like extremely distressing to put someone through, and I empathize with her so much. And honestly, those people, they drove me to become a fan of hers. Like, I'm not a fan of people, but I am a fan of Won-young specifically because so many people have tried to assassinate her character. I can actually recognize that she's like a good person. But yeah, and even when Won-young looks perfect, people will nitpick her for tiny imperfections, like in her makeup or her hair, her body. Like, it is actually insane. People have spread so many rumors about this girl and tried to like spread this agenda that she's this evil person or something. And the real reason is because Won-young is definitely a person I would consider to be a trigger of sorts for like dusty people or people with very low self-confidence. Won-young is a entire beauty standard. Like, a self-care movement was started in her name and her image. I believe Won-young is very much the standard, and people that feel inadequate or insecure are the ones that nitpick her and character smear her like crazy because they cannot fathom a world where a beautiful, skinny, talented, rich girl is also nice and a good person. Crazy concept for a lot of people, actually. Like, side note, it's actually very pathetic to think like this. Like, wow, very much a loser mentality. Like, grow up. Anyways, yeah, like, when they can't come for your looks, they'll go for your character. Lori Harvey is also a good example of this phenomenon. People say horrible things about her, and all she does is, like, have boyfriends. Like, it's so funny. I remember when she gave her like information about her diet and exercise routine, and it was like she eats like a low amount of calories and like works out twice a day. And people like people asked her for it, she gave it, and then people were like, wow, she's so unhealthy. She's encouraging eating disorders, blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, okay, you just begged this skinny celebrity woman for her meal plan and her exercise information. And you were shocked to learn that she barely eats and exercises twice a day. Like, what did you think she was gonna say? Or, like, why even ask? Why ask? But that was just so crazy to me because it was like, okay, if she didn't give her diet and exercise info to people because they were begging for it, people would accuse her of like gatekeeping or like being on Ozempic or something. And it's just like, you're very much damned if you do and damned if you don't, if you're pretty, because nothing you say will ever satisfy the people that are jealous of you, because they need something to be wrong with you, either physically or personality-wise, in order to feel comfortable around you. Which brings me to my next point, that a lot of people feel very uncomfortable or intimidated around beautiful women. I know that like a lot of girls that maybe don't have a lot of pretty privilege, especially in terms of like men and dating, I know that it might seem like you might get more dates or you maybe might get a boyfriend or a husband easier if you attain pretty privilege. And technically, yes, because you become more visible in society and like you get to pick which man you want to date instead of wanting them to pick you. So yes, that is true. But once you kind of surpass a certain level of beauty, people actually kind of become afraid of you. Like in my instance, I actually don't get approached by that many men while I'm out. You know, they like ogle and stare and whatever, but it is honestly rare for me to be seriously approached by a man while I'm out. And I believe it's because they're intimidated by me, to be honest. And I can say that to be true because whenever I'm, you know, like dressed down, hair in like a ponytail, no makeup vibes, like just like my regular default analog, no enhancements, anything like that. Whenever I'm like dressed down, men are constantly approaching me, which I actually really hate. And if this happens to you, it it would probably be best to maybe not take it as serious flattery, because they believe you're attainable when you're not intimidating. And honestly, it makes me feel so bad about myself when like a nasty, like dusty type of dude approaches me, like thinking he has a chance. Honestly, that means I need to go home and like put on some makeup and change my outfit. No, but like it's true. The men are terrified to approach you when you're like 10 out of 10 vibes, because they know the ego hit that they will get from you rejecting them, which you will literally be fatal. Like, they cannot take the rejection from a perfect woman, so they won't even bother. Women are also low-key scared of you because they either have to come up with this story in their heads that, you know, you're probably really mean or really stuck up or something stupid like that, so they can justify to themselves why they don't like you, even though they don't know you and have never talked to you. And the real reason is intimidation and cognitive dissonance. Like, let's be real. Women, they might not want to be around you because you make them feel bad about themselves. You, as a beautiful woman, you're a mirror to people that they can just see their lack in, and they're either already comparing themselves to you or they're afraid that other people will. They also might be afraid that you'll like steal the shine or whatever, like insecure stuff like that. Like, I can't relate to any of this, and you give so much power to people when you act this way. Like, people think that they're humbling a beautiful woman by not complimenting her, but to be honest, you're actually verifying to her that she's powerful because you're terrified, and we can see it. I do kind of love the days where I don't get a lot of compliments because I'm like, ooh, she's giving unapproachable and beautiful, period. Women that are with men around you might also give you dirty looks, or like, this has happened to me. Like, this girl, I was sitting across from her on the subway, and she like pulled her boyfriend in closer to her and like gave me a dirty look. And it was just like, okay, as if I would ever go near your boyfriend with like even a 10-foot pole. This kind of thing has happened to me a lot of times, and it's almost offensive. Like, I am not the threat. That beastly man you're with is, girly. What a pet peeve. So, yeah, let's recap. I think that being very beautiful can be incredibly lonely because you can never trust anyone's intentions. Everyone has something to gain from you. People can try to isolate you by, doing smear campaigns or bullying you, gossiping about you in order to try to make you lose your social currency and thusly your social power. And some people are genuinely just afraid to approach you at all for various reasons. This isn't true for all people, like, if this applies to you, if you're beautiful and lonely, first of all, I know the feeling. And second of all, if you're real and genuine and you follow your heart and your intuition, you will naturally be guided to the people that aren't threatened by you, that actually love you, that don't want to use you, and they want to see you succeed. I promise it will happen for you. Just don't settle for being around people that want to vampire your energy from you and use you. I've been there, honestly, several times now, and I can definitely say that being a little lonely is worlds better than being around fake people, being around users, being around insecure people that will just drag you down. So if there's a silver lining to this, I know it's hard, but being a little lonely is actually not the worst thing that could happen to you. Being around people that always want to hurt you is. If you made it to the end, please make sure to share your thoughts and experiences respectfully in the comments. I would love to know if this video resonated with you. Make sure that you like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!